Hello there, World of Tankers. Welcome back to another one of my videos. I am Droodle's Blitz, and today I'm going to be talking about the Sheridan and missiles in general. Now, this is going to be one of my biggest rant videos yet, just because Wargaming did a lot of bad when they released this tank. Not only did they cause quite a few players I know to stop playing the game currently, especially the higher tiers, because they just can't deal with these tanks. There's just a lot of seal clubbing going on at the higher tiers. They are cancer on every face of the battlefield. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about my opinion on these tanks, how they have an effect on the game, what Wargaming did wrong, and what they can do to fix it. Now, the first thing Wargaming really messed up on is, if you guys remember, the main thing they stressed about these tanks is they didn't want them to be like the Tier 7 T49 AGTM. And the reason of that being was, on World of Tanks Blitz PC controls, you could auto-lock on a target and then turn your gun barrel backwards, leave it in the sky, shoot that missile up all the way into the sky, and it would come down like a missile, just nuking the hit points off of the enemy vehicles. And that was a real issue when they had released the T49 AGTM in the event, because you could literally HE anybody very easily, even if they were moving across the map, just because it came down like an artillery shell. Well, Wargaming did fix that issue. They made it so that you can't use the auto-aim really on World of Tanks PC controls. However, they didn't do that for World of Tanks Mobile, which means now you can literally use your view range bar, turn your turret backwards, and do the exact same thing you could have done on World of Tanks PC. Except now these missiles have an even slower shell velocity, and it's almost like they perfectly guide themselves into the enemy vehicles. As well, these missiles have 374 millimeters of heat penetration. Honestly, I have no clue what Wargaming was thinking, giving them so many advantages over the enemy vehicles. And one of the big things I really want to stress is there is absolutely no point to use that cheating strategy. If you aim the gun backwards and you use the view range bar and you shoot it in the sky, first of all, you're not learning anything. There's absolutely zero skill involved in doing that. In fact, you're probably lowering your average skill just because of doing that in general. As you'll notice in these games, I never ever once do that. I would rather take my time, try and get a really nice shot with the missiles, because that requires skill. There's absolutely no skill in what players like that are doing. So if you are doing that and you're watching this video, I would highly suggest you stop, because not only are you causing other players to get very enraged, because it's unfair for them to just get hit out of the blue nowhere, and this is tier 10. It's not like we're talking about tier 7. You know, tier 7, it's okay. There's a lot of overpowered tier 7 tanks in general, the Smasher, all these other vehicles. It really wouldn't have mattered that much if there was an issue like this at tier 7. Wargaming could have nerfed it, and it wouldn't have been a huge issue. But at tier 10 and tier 9, this should not be an issue. This is where you show off your skills, you do the best you can. And when you have tanks that can literally shoot you when you don't even have the ability to see them or do anything against them, they can outflank you, outrun you, they can outplay you, there is nothing you can do against them. Because not only does this tank have the amazing missiles, it also gets standard APCR rounds. And it's not like they don't have a lot of penetration. They're sitting at like 250 mil, which means that pretty much if you can't use your heat in certain scenarios, or you don't want your shell velocity of the heat because they are so slow, you can just use your standard APCR rounds, which fly perfectly through the sky right into the enemy tanks. And not to mention, your missiles do the exact same damage as your standard ammo. You just saw there, Fosh, no problem, shoot a heat right through the tank. Aiming time is not a virtue with the missiles. I can aim through the smallest cracks in the map as long as the enemy tank sits still. The tank is just completely broken in any way. Now, I brought up a little clip here from a game I was playing with my friend Spacebut yesterday. You guys probably all know who he is, but I was playing my VK90, and I just pulled it out for one game. I was sick of playing my WZ-111-5A. Wanted to pull this out, do a little bit of damage, bounce some shots, so I was pushing my tank over towards the base cap, try and use my 10 degrees to get an impression effectively. And over there, you can see a Sheridan has been spotted. Now, this E50M is going to push over here, and unfortunately, I'm spotted. Boom! There you go. Missile out of the sky. Nothing I could have done about it. Just hits me right in the side. There was nothing I could have done. I saw it at the last second. I couldn't have angled my tank. And that is the issue with the missiles. There's another missile. You can see you can't do anything about it. What are you supposed to do when there's these tanks shooting across the map and there's nothing you can do? There's two vehicles over there, both just camping behind the ridge, spamming missile after missile. Again, another one hits me, and I was just super, super pissed off at that moment. I was, really angry because you don't have a fair advantage in any way. Like I'm literally running a top tier German super heavy and I have to back up and sit at the back of the map because I'm constantly getting badgered by missile after missile. I've already lost half my hit points just because of tanks I can't even hit. I've done 0 damage. There was really nothing I could have done this game, and in fact I had to sit at the back of the map the rest of the battle while my entire team just faded away because I couldn't do my job. I couldn't hold the line. These missiles are just completely breaking the game. Not to mention, the Sheridan is covered in complete spaced armor. The entire hull. The front has that little bit sticking over the top of it. The sides are completely covered by little edges that are all spaced armor. The rear as well. The only bit of the tank that isn't spaced armor is the side and rear of the turret. It is just broken in so many ways. And a lot of people don't know that the tank has this spaced armor, so they'll shoot at it with Hesh like a 183 or an FE4202, and it'll do like 50 damage. And they won't know that, so they'll go again, and it'll take them 20 games against this tank to have the slightest clue that their tank just cannot be penetrated with high explosive. And it's just one of the other reasons why this tank is so bullcrap in every single scenario. Honestly, I do not want to play tier 10 that much anymore. It's not fun to pull out in a tier 10 game and then constantly have this little dinky tank run up behind you, take 600 off, and before you can even turn around, they're gone because I've shot a missile or something else at you. It's just not a fair advantage. As I said before, tier 10 is a skill-based tier. Normally when I play tier 10 tank, it doesn't matter what I play. I like to play fun tier 10 vehicles. And, I was playing my WZ-111 5A yesterday, and the tank by no means is excellent, but it's also not bad, as I said in the video. I think it's just about average, and because of that, I was doing pretty good, but I went up against a double platoon of Sheridans. What am I supposed to do against that, honestly? I had one go behind me and one come in the front. They both targeted me, and that was the end of my game, literally like a minute and a half. I couldn't even get anywhere because they both spotted me, they isolated me, and that's one of the issues. You just can't do anything. And it just makes me really not want to play the game right now. I know quite a bit of players that have actually stopped playing the game. Spacebutt and I stopped playing tier 10 last night, went down to tier 6 because that's how much we didn't want to fight the Sheridan. And I was running this tank the first day it came out, and I had played it probably for 25-30 games in a row, and I was just really loving it. It's an extremely fun tank to play. It's got the missiles, they're really addicting, even if you don't do a crazy amount of damage with them, as long as you're not using the exploit. It's really fun to just try and guide the missiles into the enemy vehicles, run around the map, and it's just a really fun tank in general to pull out. And because of that, I don't blame any of you guys for running it. It's Wargaming's fault for bringing the tank into the game like this, so run it as you wish. It's honestly not your problem at all. However, I will say if you are using the exploit to, use the tank like an artillery, I would say you don't deserve to run to the tank because that's not what it's meant to be ran like. It's meant to be a fun vehicle to run around the map and have a bit of a new playstyle. But Wargaming really messed up. I honestly don't think they could have messed this tank up any more than the way they put it into the game. And there are a bunch of ways they could fix it. The first way is the most obvious, and I posted a video 3 months ago talking about the Sheridan before Wargaming even had the idea of the tank coming into the game. Or they probably did, but they hadn't told anyone. I said in that video, Wargaming needs to put the Sheridan in the game, but they need to give it the T49 gun from tier 8. That way, you can spam HE, you'll be fine with the HE. It has improved accuracy, improved aiming time, improved, reload, everything like that. And you still have the same heat rounds. That way, you have to know people's armor, you have to know how to flank, how to get to the rear of tanks, use your high explosive. That is something that I thought Wargaming could really do, because now you have to know a little bit of skill, and it's a light tank. It's not like you're running a tank destroyer. You're not supposed to be able to do 5,000 damage in a light tank easy, 1, 2, 3. So the tank is just completely broken in many aspects. Another thing Wargaming could have done not only is add the T-49 gun, but also put the M48 patent gun, like it is on World of Tanks PC, as a secondary option. That way players that don't want to use this really inaccurate T-49 gun at high tiers can still pull out the, gun that the M60 and the M48 patent has, and they will do completely fine. So I don't know why Wargaming did this. I think it was just completely awful. The fact that they thought they could just bring it into the game like this and it wouldn't cause a lot of controversy. Now, I know why Wargaming put the tank into the game, and it makes a lot of sense. They want to have younger audiences playing their title, and the main reason of that being is because younger people spend a lot more money on the game. If you're like me and you have a credit card and you do work a job, you know that these crates are a ripoff and money is a virtue to you. Younger kids that play this game and ask their parents for tanks and buy these vehicles don't have any idea of what money is, where it comes from, anything like that, and they just get their parents' credit cards or whatever and buy crates of the WZ or whatever comes out in the store, and that's where Wargaming makes all of their money. Of course, us older people know, or just in general, older audiences know that crates are completely awful, they're a waste of money, and they're not going to get you anything. But this younger kid's going to say, well, I could get the tank, they might not read anything, they'll just buy the crates, and that's how Wargaming makes so much money off of these crates. So it completely makes sense why they would bring a tank like this into the game to get more younger audiences in the game and as well making them a boatload of money. It's just how they brought this tank into the game was so wrong. It's just sad to me that Wargaming could even think of making the tank this overpowered and not see it in the testing stages. And I was told by some people that a couple of the Wargaming people, staff at Wargaming, were arguing that these tanks don't have a place in the game with the missiles. And I have to agree. The missiles, they are fun, but it shouldn't be in this current game mode. You shouldn't be able to do them in regular battles or encounter battles. Make a special game mode like the T-49 AGTM, where maybe you can only play the Sheridan or the T-92 in a special game mode. It's just not going to be fun. Imagine raiding battles and tournaments now. You're just going to see Sheridans all over the place. Of course, they're probably going to nerf them really big time. But currently, Wargaming is thinking of adding high explosive missiles to the Sheridan. Now, please tell me why they're thinking of doing that. I already said there's the exploit with the view range bar. So now they're going to do that with the exploit. Now you're going to be able to nuke people with high explosive rounds. Honestly, Wargaming, if you're watching this video, or anybody that has some correlation with Wargaming is watching this video, you need to get rid of the missiles on this tank. The tank is fine itself. They did a great job on the model. The camouflage looks great. The gun that this tank has mounted on it is completely cancer to the entire game. This is going to be the end of my rant on the missiles. I hope you guys did enjoy it because this was a pretty big and juicy one. Of course, if you did like the video, make sure to smash that like button down below. Let me know what you thought of it. And as well, if you didn't like the video, if you have any criticisms or any thoughts that I didn't point out or why you like the Sheridan and you think you should be able to use that exploit, let me know in the comments down below. Hit that downvote button. Let me know your opinion as well. And if any of you guys thought I did have a contributor account, this is the main reason why I really don't have one. It's probably because Wargaming notices, well, he does like to rant about our game quite a bit when he does feel strong about it. And that's one thing I can say which is nice about not having a contributor account, is I can really speak my mind on what Wargaming does. Because if they screw up, some YouTubers, if they have a contributor account, they might go a little bit easy on Wargaming so that they don't just completely remove their account in general. I don't care. I've spent thousands of dollars on this game already and probably will continue to do so. But the idea of this Sheridan is just so absurd I had to make a big fat rant on it. And I wish nothing but well for the game, but I don't think that they need to go down this path to make money. But other than that, guys, as I said, I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, make sure to smash that like button, and I'll see you in the next one.